My name is Mark Anthony Dubose Jr., and I was born July 4th, 1986. Today, we'll talk about something that I think something that a lot of us should really think hard about. And that's the concept of, are you doing everything backwards? Is everything that you're doing, the way that you're doing it, thinking that you're succeeding, but you're doing it actually getting worse? That you're doing some things because you've always been doing it. And when someone gives you some different information, you look at that information as if that's backwards and not right and strange and weird. Because you've been taught a certain way. You've been taught your entire life how to do something, your entire life how to be about something. But then you come to realize that if you're not getting what it is that you're looking for in your life, if you're still confused with how to get through some addictions, how to get through some problems, how to be able to figure out how to be able to create better relationships around me in my life, and you're still not quite figuring it, getting there. You're reading like self-help book after self-help book. You're going to all the seminars. You're spending so much money on all these coaches to figure out how to be able to help you and guide you and fix you and cure you and get you past all these issues that you're still not getting anywhere. That you're just going week after week, month after month, year and decade, and hopefully not century after century. But some of us go to a whole century and are still not getting where it is that we want. Is that because we're doing everything backwards? There's this dog trainer I've been watching to and listening to lately that really, he's not only talking to me about no dogs, but talking to me about life. Life and the reality of realizing that most of our issues that we're having with ourselves are not something that's going to take months and years and have to constantly, the one word that I like that's used, that I used to use, but I didn't like it myself, but I would use it because I felt like everyone else used it. And that's the thing that I'm going to say again is we do what we've been taught, and it's hard for us to get away from it, even though when things that we were taught, we realize doesn't work. It's not what we want, but yet we still just do it. But the word that I don't like is manage. I don't want to have to decide I don't want to drink anymore and have to manage it every day. Have to like be on the hold the coin in your pocket and I'm at 20 days, I'm at 80 days, I'm at 115 days, I'm at 242 days, I'm at 2,562 days. I don't want to have to manage it. I don't want to have to like remove myself from places and situations. I don't want to have to not watch certain TV shows and commercials and things because it might put me to get back in it again. I don't want to have to manage my life. I want to just be able to get through it. It's something that I would say to a lot of people when it comes down to some dogs and some dog training. That I understand that your dog's been barking, snapping, growling. Your dog may even have killed another dog. I've yet to work with a dog that's killed a human being yet. I'll end up there at some point in my life, but I've definitely worked with some animals that have killed other animals. And I would always have it in me of saying what it is that I hear other people say. You're going to have to constantly keep on managing what it is that we're doing here. We're getting them to walk on the leash. We're getting them to understand some stuff, and we're going to have to keep on. There's never going to be a day that you're just going to be able to like forget about it. Like that's not going to happen again. And I'm going to say that I knew that wasn't true in my own personal life, and I come to realize and test and challenge this with my own self and realize that really isn't true. That you have to figure out what the main issue is here. You got to figure out what the actual core situation is. Why did it get to the point that tragedy had to happen? Why did it get to the point that you decided that to be able to ease my day that I need this alcohol all the time? I need to overconsume it to be able to get, what is the cause? Not that now you got a DUI, now you got to quit drinking. Now you got too many domestic battery charges on you, now you got to quit drinking. No, you're drinking, that's not the cause. You got to figure out the cause, the root cause, the beginning cause, the first cause of everything that's going on, so that I don't want to have to manage this no more. I want it to just be gone. And there's a lot that goes on in this world that I'm telling you, you get deep in some dogs and some dog training, you're not only just training animals, you're training things around you in your entire world, that it's going to start to consume your entire world. Because for me, I've had goals, things that I wanted to do with a simple animal that I would say, if I could do that to a simple animal, why could I not do that with myself? And I challenge myself with that so much. Like, why is it that I can get an animal that wants to kill another animal? Like, I've had dogs that, they still kill chicken. How can I get that to not do that? How can I convince them not to want to do that? How can I convince them that when we're out and about out here doing what we're doing, like those animals out there, if those baby chicks got out, that these dogs would not kill it? How can I get to that point with a silly animal? And I can't get to that point with myself, where that animal has it in it, it's got a desire, it wants to do it. It wants to do it. It wants to get it done. It wants to make it happen. It wants to do what it's got to do. But yet it doesn't just hold back. It just knows that, hey, I just don't do that. I don't do that. I don't care. I don't care that it's right here in my face. I just don't do that. But if it breaks into his house, that's a different situation. But when we're out here doing what we're doing, working some animals, it's a very, very different situation. That how do I not get it? How do I get them to not do that? And then I figure out how to be able to get them to not do that. And then I say to myself, like, why can't I do that with myself? Why is it that every time, this was something that I would say was challenging for me, was to stop the smoking, the smoking that weed, that marijuana. That I would say to myself, I'm gonna stop. And I would stop because, you know, I was broke. I ain't had the money for it. And I figured that's why I quit. But then when I would get more money, I would get that instant desire in me, that instant sensation of just like, go buy some more. Like it was a calling. Like as soon as you had enough funds, you could be behind on your rent, but you gonna get the funds to be able to get that and make that happen. And it just starts to call you. It starts to get there. And you didn't quit because you figured out the root cause of why it is that you're doing it in the first place. You quit because you have a situation with something going on here. Same with, like I say, the DUIs, the same with the battery charges, the same with all those things. That you're trying to fix the symptoms of the problems that you're seeing, but not fixing the actual true cause of what's going on. You're seeing the backlash. So when it comes down to working with an animal, you're trying to stop the dog from biting. Why not figure out why the dog is biting? And that's what I have to really think about us as human beings. You're trying to stop yourself from drinking. Well, why are you drinking in the first place? Why are you even doing it? What's going on with that? And then you got to take it a layer back and a layer back and a layer back. And then you'll finally realize what's going on. And for me, I just have really come to understand that I was doing what I was doing because I didn't know who I was. And at the same time, I was doing what I was doing because I thought that I couldn't deal with myself if I finally knew who I was. So I was always just trying to run away from who I was. So always trying to run away from what it is that I was thinking that I was doing. That what I was thinking was wrong. That I shouldn't be doing this, that I shouldn't be doing that. Because that's what, like, say, the rest of the world would say. The rest of the world would say, what I do out here and playing with all this and playing with these baby chicks and playing with these cows and doing what I'm doing. And that's not what you're supposed to be doing. But my mind was like, I want to do this. But society is like, no, get away from that. Don't mess with that. Don't do that. So for me, I was just always conflicted with that's just something simple. But with a lot of things like that in my life. When I had it in me that I wanted to do pretty much anything. That I didn't play the certain video games that everyone else played. I like these ones right here. But I was always conflicted. And then I never wanted to like express and show myself because I was always just no one's going to like me. No one's going to appreciate me. No one's going to care for me. I'd always look a certain way. I'd always dress a certain way. I'd always speak a certain way. And especially with all my appearance, be a certain way because that's how I felt like the world would be able to respect me and respond to me in a say, pleasing way. And not me just doing what it is that I felt like I wanted to do. And I was doing what I seen someone else want me to do and want me to be like. And I would always ask people that. Like, what would you like me to wear? What would you like me to say? How would you like me to be? What kind of foods would you like me to eat? As opposed to me just saying what I wanted. I didn't know who I was. And I was struggling with that. So I was struggling with that and trying to put out there who I was and feeling like you're not going to respect that and you're going to reject that. So I was just running away from me. So I would do some alcohol and I would do some smoking to try to get myself to just get out of being in the real so that I could stay in the fake. And when you keep putting that pressure, you kind of forget the whole reason on why and what is going on and why you're doing that. If you've been drinking now for 15 years, it's hard to even figure out why you even started. Why'd you start? Why'd you take that first drink? Because it was disgusting. The first drink you took was disgusting. It was just nasty. It was nasty. It was no good. It was just, you spit it out. You just drink it like, I don't know about this. But then you caught on to the feeling, made you want to keep on doing it. Not the taste. That's why anyway, I'm just going to say it straight like that. It's laughable to me today on how we add all this fruitiness to it to try to make the drinks like acceptable. If the drink was good, just drink the drink. Why you got to add all this stuff to it to try to make it so that you would enjoy it in a way? That really lets me know how much you're running away from just reality by doing that. That's what we do. We're running away. And that's why we mix it and change it and do this with it and do that with it. But there's some people out here are hardcore. They'll just grab you a bottle of whiskey and just start drinking it straight up. That's a hardcore, that's a very interesting human being on this planet that does such a thing. But I'm gonna still say, you don't enjoy how it tastes. You just enjoy how it feels. So how did you get to the point that you decided that I needed that feeling? I needed that to be able to survive. I needed that to be able to live. I needed that to be able to get by a day. I need that to even be able to wake up. Some people grab that beer to wake up. It's like, it gets me energized. It gets me motivated to be able to get anything done. Instead of just hitting the symptoms of going to jail because of DUI and paying fines and all these issues, worry about the reason why you're wanting that feeling in the first place. Because the feeling is, there's I'll say it like that. There's nothing wrong with the feeling. The feeling isn't the problem. It's the cause. It's the reasons why you want that feeling. And a lot of us are running away. and not really experiencing and exploring what that is. And you're just doing everything in your power to just keep on just pushing it back. And that's why it's going to take you months and years and decades to figure out how to be able to better yourself, when it should in reality just take you a couple of moments. And a couple of moments meaning like a couple of hours to figure out what's going on here so that you can be able to get past it and move forward. Is it going to be something that is going to be pleasant to you? No. That's what I think that we're mainly running from, because we know that when we finally just look at the whole situation here, what's going on, that we're going to realize like it's tough, it's hard. And that's something that I'm going to say is an absolutely amazing thing, that I really upgraded my skills with what it is I do with these dogs by not even watching somebody work a dog, but just hearing them speak about it, realizing that I'm doing everything backwards. And everything backwards, and doing it backwards is tragedy. And doing things in that way is leading up to not being able to have any sort of success. But when you just deal with it, it's something that I've learned, that if you're scared of something, you just deal with it. You get in it. You force yourself through it. You just make yourself have to just follow through with it. And if you're scared of some items and spiders and snakes, and you research as much as you absolutely possibly can to learn everything about it, so that you're no longer afraid of it because you know too much about it. You know their habitat, you know where they're at, you know this, you know that, you know where they sleep, you know what they eat, you know what they do, you know everything about them. You know the whole situation. And you go to the doctors to even try to figure out like, what if I did get bit by this and what this and what that, and do we have I don't know a word to use with that other than just saying like a vaccine or something, but antidote. Do we got antidotes to be able to get past this? And the more information you know, the less scared you're going to be. And that's a very interesting thing for me to say, because that's something that I've come to realize when it comes to reading my Bible. The more information that I learn about God, the more safe and secure I feel. That I no longer have to be out here just dancing around for people, trying to make them appreciate and like me, when in reality they're not going to like me more, because I'm not being my real, true, full self. I'm just being something that is like a for show. But when I realize that when I just do what I do, not what everyone else does, but I just do what I do, I get done what I get done. I realize I get a lot more success in this life. Like a lot more ease of access. It's way more pleasant. When I've been doing what other people are doing, I've just been stumbling and fumbling. When I'm just like, I know how to do this way faster, way more efficiently, way easier, way more simpler. Let me just do it like this instead. When I just do it that way, that I just got it in me, that it's just, I know what the heck I'm doing. I realize things are much easier. And that's the power of just going through the fear and just sitting in it. It's going to be hard for a little bit, for a moment. It's going to be really hard. You're really gonna stumble and fumble. You're really gonna, in reality, just feel like you're in absolute nothingness. Like you're just in the abyss of just you nothing. And then sometimes we gotta go through that absolute nothing and just recognize that in reality, when it comes down to this entire world and this entire universe and this entire everything, we unfortunately are nothing. We unfortunately are not something that's someone's gonna think about 1,000 years from now. We're not. We're only gonna be here, right now with what it is that we do. And then to understand that what it is that you wanna do to be able to be known and be recognized 1,000 years from now is the message that you push to people to allow them to be able to better themselves, to be able to make sure that you're pushing forward another 1,000 years. That's for me to have a very good understanding of. More and more that I just keep on reading this book, that Bible, more and more I keep on understanding the purpose behind it and the reasonings behind it. Because it's not that I need to care about any Noah in the book. No, I need to care about the message that he put. I don't need to care about Joseph or Moses or Abraham. No, I need to care about the message that they put. Them themselves and how they were with their family and everything that went down with them. I don't know, it's pretty much pointless in reality. But what matters is the message that they were pushing forward. The message of being able to move forward and not being backwards. Being backwards is what I think that we're stumbling and fumbling with today. That we're doing everything, we've been taught a way that's supposed to give us a good life. And when someone comes in with some different information that goes against that teaching that you've gotten to actually get you in a good place, you want to reject it. You want to completely reject it because it's super foreign to you. It's very, very strange to you. It's so strange in a way that you almost want to be mad at it. You want to be angry at what someone has to say. Like if I say to you that the Bible is here to help you, you want to be angry at me about that. It's like, there's no way that it could be that way. It's because we've been living in such a way that's so backwards compared to what it is that we should be doing. That once you get out of that and you get into a new way of understanding how to actually get that help, Instead of having to live by managing all your issues, but just getting through it and just getting by it. Then you're going to have no choice but to like try to help that next person out. And that next person out is to figure out how to be able to get you closer to understand who Jesus is for you. Not that you need to know who I am. My name is Mark Anthony DuBose Jr., but I am nothing. In 100 years from today, who am I going to be? No matter what I do on this planet. I mean, I could solve world hunger. I can make sure that we got drones flying everywhere to get everybody food. And 100 years from now, I will be that guy that was known to feed some people. But what more? Nothing more. Nothing at all. They'll forget my name, forget my face, forget everything about me. But the biggest thing is pushing the name of Jesus along, because that's all that matters. That's the only thing that matters. And we're living in such a backward world that we think that Jesus is here to harm us and hurt us, as opposed to help us and bless us. And that's something that I've just come to realize a lot about everything that I'm doing. And realizing that if I stay in this backward way and I'm not getting the relief, the help that I want, why would I stay in that? Why wouldn't I like reject that if I'm not getting any sort of success? Why wouldn't I could just keep doubling down, tripling down, just 10 times it into what's not actually helping me? But go ahead and instead move into something that will help me. Why would I just drink more and more and more and more and more and more, not getting any help? Thinking if I drink another one, I'll feel better and get the help I need. No, it's not. Why would I keep doing that? Why would I double down in that? Why would I ruin relationships and ruin the chances of just destroying my whole life? That's something that I'm going to say, that the Bible is fascinating. The whole book of Genesis talks a whole lot about this alcohol in a way that is destructive. And it's something that we should do our best to stay away from. There's very, very specific stories about specific things that just talk about how destructive it is and how evil it is. That is, it's good in moderation in little bits here and there, but it's not good to consume all the time and over. That it's very, very dangerous. But we keep going into that thinking that it's going to help us, thinking that it's going to be able to make it easier for you, as opposed to like saying, why don't I figure out what's actually going on so that I can get out of this and never even want to have to be a part of it in the first place? Why am I trying to get the dog to stop biting actively right now, as opposed to figuring out, why are you doing that, man? Why are you biting? Oh, that's why. Okay, then let's fix that, and then you're not going to want to do it anymore. And then we're done. We don't have to worry about it anymore. It's finished. It's complete. It's like, why don't we look at life that way? Why are we looking at, let me add this pill to my life. Well, let me add this drug to my life. Let me add this workout exercise. Let me add this counseling. Let me add this meditation. Let me add this to try to make it better. As opposed to realizing, like, why am I trying to add more to it instead of removing some things? And saying, well, if I'm reacting, why am I reacting? What do I need to fix in my world, in my life, to make sure that I stop reacting? Because it's something that is fascinating. And a lot of times, that's why I go back to, you need to just research and study what it is you're scared of, so that you'll no longer be scared of it. And sometimes you just got to put yourself in the thick of it and just get through it. Wouldn't you rather get through what is it you're afraid of in minutes, as opposed to just living with that for your whole life? In minutes, deal with that, deal with it. Just deal with it. Something that I can put in a perfect example is working with a silly dog, and they're barking at everything outside, at the wind, the rain, the dogs, the people, the cloth flying, a leaf moving. I'd rather stick that dog and just stare at it and just deal with it. Get all those emotions out. Get it all out. 2 minutes later, it might even take 20 minutes, even if it took an hour. An hour later, that dog is just going. He's just looking at it like it's going, thinking that if I bark hard enough, it's going to leave. But no, it's going to stay right there. And you just get through that. In 30 minutes time, the dog just says, oh, it's actually not hurting me. Oh, it's actually fine. Everything's good. Oh, actually, they were trying to play with me. Why am I trying to be abusive to it? Oh, let's just hang out. And then we're done. I don't have to worry about it anymore. As opposed to just slowly trying to get better and better day after day, week, month, year, and it's still not there. You're still every time looking around the corner like, oh, there might be someone there, so let me go ahead and move around. You're trying to escape every single situation. Why wouldn't you just go through it and just realize it's okay? It's done. That's what we as human beings need to be doing. These methods of working with these silly animals is not just silly animals. They're here for us, that God created for us. All of this out here for us to learn from, to understand, and for us to really understand who and what God is all about. That He's put all this here for us. This is what we're out here to be able to do and be able to work with. Is everything on this land. Not so much as worrying about trying to answer phone calls, right, or this and that, but understand the land, understand where you live, understand the birds and the sun, the clouds and the rain, and understand everything that's going on here. It teaches you more about who you are, for one, and what God is all about, and how it all just works together, and it's absolutely amazing. That a lot of times when we're in this reactive and scared and nervous and need these pills and need this, it's because you're hiding and running away from what it is that you know that you should be putting yourself into. You're hiding from it. You got this idea in your mind that I want to do this, and you just keep running away from it. You're like, no, that's not going to work. I want to start a grass cutting company. Oh, that's not going to work. There's so many people out there that already do. That's not going to work. And you're running away from it, and it's just burning inside of you. You're just like, I want to get out there and do that. I want to make it happen, but I'm not going to do it today. And you come home and you start drinking some, and you know, oh, things are all right. It's all right. And then the next day happens, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And now you're super anxious. The alcohol's not working. Now you need this, and this. And it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, as opposed to just dealing with the one issue that's going on with you. The fear of not doing it. The fear of it just running away. The fear of not making happen what it is that you said that you want to make happen. The fear of everybody laughing at you because of what it is that you're doing. Something that I'm going to say is funny to me is when people are out here struggling eating, I'm not. Because I've done the stuff that everyone said to me is stupid. Raising some chicken, raising some beef. And I don't even eat no pork, but I know how to do that as well. And people are laughing at me about that's stupid. That ain't going to be nothing. That ain't going to go nowhere. But one day, people going to be hungry. People hungry today. People are hurting today. In one of the most wealthiest nations right now, people are hurting and hungry right now. And people that are laughing at me are no longer laughing, but looking like, hey, how do I get into that? What do I need about that? How much does it take to be able to do this and be able to do that? It's an interesting shift. That when you just get in and do what you do, now you're going to be that expert to others to be able to ask those questions when they're running into that issue of not sure where to go. And that's what we all need to be doing. Stop running away from what it is that you're nervous about, especially if you're nervous about what someone's going to say to you about it. Hey, Johnny, come here. Especially if you're nervous of what someone's going to say. You're nervous that they're going to laugh at you and call you stupid and call you silly and call you pathetic and call you ugly and call you all kinds of names. Get down. You're nervous that people are going to do that to you, and that's why you don't do what you do? Hey, get down. I see you. Get down. You nervous about what people are going to do and people are going to say, and that's why you don't do what you do? I'm telling you, that is more of a reason for me to say to you that you definitely need Jesus more in your life, to be able to support you, be able to help you, be able to guide you, to be able to push you into doing what it is that you know you should be doing, and stop worrying about what people got to say. And that's one thing that I do know for a fact, on a matter of fact. That's something that God is able to help us out with, to give us that courage, to give us that power inside, to know that what you're doing is right. And you're on that right path of doing what it is that you need to be doing. It may be challenging. That's just what it is, unfortunately, all because of the beginning of human creation. It just started off that way. It is what it is. We're here, and we can't change the beginning. We're here. If you want to create it and then do what you do in your own little world and make your own little rules, but you didn't. We're here. And to me, that's a beautiful thing. Because since I know that there's, like say, rules upon me, it makes it pretty easy to play the game. It makes it much simpler to be able to move through this life, knowing that if I just stick to these guidelines here, I'll be not smooth sailing, but better off. I'll be able to do what it is I need to do. But if I decide that I don't want those, I want to go over there and do this, you struggling, you hurting, and that's what I think a lot of people are doing today. They struggling and hurting because you're doing everything backwards, and we've been taught to do it backwards. Not that you're doing it because you came up with that in reality. You've been taught it. We've been force-fed it. We've been told you buy this and do this, and this will make you happy. This will do this and do this. All these things, all this materialistic stuff that they say is going to make you happy if you just get it. The bigger house you get, the happier you'll be. The more cars you got, the happier you'll be. The more kids you got, the happier you'll be. I mean, that may be true. I think that's pretty true. But better clothes you got, then you'll be happy. The better vacations you take, then you'll be happy. All that's not going to make you happy. That's what we've been fed. We've been force-fed that our entire lives. Since, past like probably minimum 200 years, but especially this past 10 years of our life has been hard. This past 3 years have been hard on advertising, on pushing things. That the only reason you're going to be happy is if you do this and get this. And realizing that, no, that's actually not. That's going to lead you to that next, it's like gambling. You're hoping that it gets it and it doesn't. You're hoping that it gets it and it doesn't. And then you get 10% back even though you spent 1,000. You spent $1,000, you get $10. You win. I got to hit the jackpot on this one. You got $10, but you're 1,000 in. You're negative. You're super negative, and you think you're winning because you won that little bit. So then you keep getting going in it. That's how our world is going today, right now. That everything is training us like we're just gambling, and that's not going to bring any happiness to you in any way. I'm telling you. I'm guaranteeing you that. That's why I just look around and see that majority of people just aren't happy because you're gambling. Hoping, wishing, and praying that that next thing is going to be able to do it for you, as opposed to just stopping, saying, no, I myself need to just figure it out. And I myself need to just stop and just realize who I am to be able to move forward on this planet, and not thinking that that outside stuff is going to be able to get, no, inside of you and trusting in God is what's going to be able to bring you that peace. That's what all I can say with working with some silly animals. As soon as they trust me, everything works. Everything's good to go. Everything's smooth. But when they're just a little, they don't really trust me, then yeah, they're rocky. They're confused. They're out there being savage. That's how I feel with myself and what I see in this world going on. And a lot of people aren't really trusting in God. You're not trusting in Him. You may believe in Him, but you don't trust in Him. Trust is a big thing. It's a big thing. And I'm telling you, you trust God, you're gonna watch your life just exponentially just explode into being greatness. And it's got nothing to do with what you look like, what kind of stuff and items you got. It's got everything to do with who you are. And people see that. And people will want to destroy you because of that. And that's where you're going to get certain people that are going to try to get attached to you because they want to take that from you because they don't understand it. Like, how can you just be so chill? How can you be so calm when there's just so much chaos going on? They're going to want to figure that out. And that's where, for me, it's an amazing thing to be able to explain. It's not me, it's Jesus. And with that, I want to say thank you. And make sure that I always continue to keep on giving 100% of the credit to God and Jesus. And the Holy Spirit that's been able to really guide me to further understanding myself. Further understanding what it is that I really should pursue and what it is I should let go. That there's many things on this planet, but there's one thing that's just absolutely amazing. Is the one that created it all. And I want to make sure that God is the forefront of everything in my life that I do. That I didn't do it. I didn't make it happen. Jesus made it happen. I didn't do it. I didn't make it happen. God has created it all for me to be able to make it happen. That I'm just a simple human being that's going to be forgotten about one day. And one day here soon enough, in the way that this world works. We're not here for a long time at all. The main thing is I want to be able to share the insight. Hey, Johnny, just because you're itching don't mean you can get up, man. I see that slickness. Get down. I see that slickness. We good. Everybody get down. Everybody get down. Get Johnny down, Oreo down. May down, Shadow, you bend down. Johnny, get down. Get down. Something I'm gonna say. Working with one dog is too easy. You need to have like 4 or 5 to have a good time. If you wanna put yourself a hire to say that you're gonna help somebody. How can you only have one dog and put yourself a hire to help people that's got 2? And you never had 2 before. It's an interesting thing that I'm always out here wondering and thinking about. How can you help somebody if you've never been through it? That's why for me, I just appreciate today. I can laugh at the, say, hard times and the bad times that come to me. Because there's no way I can help you out if I hadn't been through it. And I'm telling you, I've been through some sticky situations. And I've been shot, I've been stabbed, I've been cut, I've been dropped, I've been thrown, I've been beat down to nothing. Physically all the way to the point. I've been beat down mentally, emotionally, all the way down to nothing. I've had all my stuff taken. I've been on drugs. I've been on pills. I've been on alcohol. I've been on relationships thinking that another girl is going to make me happy. I've been on animals thinking that another animal is going to make me happy. Thinking that if I had if I had that, I'd finally be satisfied. I've been in situations of the fancy houses and the no good houses. I've had the fancy vehicles and the no good vehicles. I've been through a lot. I've had a lot of interesting situations go on with me, so that when someone comes to me and says, Mark, you don't know, you haven't been through it, I'm almost going to say to you, I'm pretty sure I got a story to tell you about something that I've gone through. That the way I look and stand and speak today is interesting. It's kind of doesn't, you don't see what I've been through. You only see what's seen. But I can show you scars on my body that I can tell you stories about a lot of things that's gone down. It's super fascinating. That's one thing that I do know is challenging as my life has been. It's here to help someone out, to be able to get them closer to the understanding of how I'm able to do what I'm able to do today. And that's being able to understand who Jesus is so that you can be able to move forward on this planet. It's an amazing place to be, people. It's chaos out there. There's more chaos today going on than ever. But that chaos that's going on, know that you can still find peace inside of you, even when you're living in all that chaos. Thank you. Y'all good.